Hello, I'm your host, Peter Komendowski, and welcome to Surviving Bad, where we explore stories of survival, hope, and inspiration. Today, we talk about the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Cedar Valley. With a 50-year history, this organization understands the needs of youth in the Cedar Valley and the challenges that expose the many underserved and needy children in our communities. Joining us today is Bailey Moore to share some insights into the challenges that the Boys and Girls Clubs are not only facing, but how they're contributing to solutions. Bailey, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're here today.
Absolutely. So, as you said, my name is Bailey Moore. I'm the Director of Operations for the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Cedar Valley. I just took that role on very recently. We've had a change in administration here at the start of 2023. So, before I took on that role, I was the Director of Finance coming straight out of college. That started back in 2021. So, I've been with the organization, a few years now, and it's been really just a blessing. And it's really, helped me be able to become kind of a more involved community member in this area, and get involved with a lot of different organizations that really help out kids and just community in general, honestly.
Now, give us like a status report on how things look. You have like 6 or 7 locations around the Cedar Valley, as far as I've seen.
Yep. So right now we've got 4 locations. 3 of those are standalone buildings. We've got the clubhouse that I'm in right now. Our administrative team is on Lime Street up here on the east side of town. We've also got our teen center on East 4th Street, which is right across from the softball diamonds of East High. And then we've also got a new building that I'm really excited to kind of talk about. The old Elk Run Preschool building on McCoy Road in Evansdale is where some of our rural clubs go. So we got some really great spots there. And we've also got, we're inside of Lincoln Elementary School. And that's part of a 21st Century Department of Education grant. So really, really thankful to be in all those different buildings.
And when you talk about your constituents, the kids that come to the schools, what are some of the basic needs that you guys address?
So first and foremost, we feed a lot of kids every single day. So through help with the Northeast Iowa Food Bank, we have the ability to, after school every single day, give our kids a snack and give our kids a hot meal before they go home. So we can make sure that they're fed, because we found out that a lot of our kids, they don't necessarily have those kinds of things. So, and then during, summers and different things like that, we feed our kids breakfast, lunch, and then we still do a big snack at the end of the night, just so we can make sure that they're fed and they've got, the support that they need that way. We also do a lot of, homework help, educational enrichment, and then a lot of different activities that revolve around, athletics and just kind of keeping your body moving, and, mindfulness, well-being programs, social and emotional health has become really, really big for us. And it's something that we're really trying to push out to our young people.
Now you're relatively speaking, a young man with an old organization coming in with a younger viewpoint on older, let's say, problems that are faced in the communities. What do you see? Because I know what I see. I'm an old guy. We've built, we have adaptation bias. We see certain things and we tend to see more of what we're used to seeing. But what kind of things have you learned since you've been in this role in terms of what a community needs and maybe how deep some of the problems are?
Well, and I tell you what, some of the, moving into this role, I came out of college, a finance major. So nonprofit community work really wasn't, I guess, in what I thought I would be doing. But, coming here and being a part of this organization has really helped me see that, there's needs everywhere, all over the community. It's not, East Side versus West Side, these people need more help, these people don't. There's needs everywhere. And I think that's something that, not a lot of people understand. And it's also, there's not a specific set of kids that need Boys and Girls Club. All young people, need the Boys and Girls Club, to get a little bit of extra support, a little bit of extra homework help in the evenings, because, maybe mom and dad work till 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night and can't be that help for them. So, to have a place where we've got caring adults and people who really, want to see these young people succeed is really one of the greatest things that we've been able to do here.
Now, you're in a position then to sort of look at the numbers. When you look at the numbers based on what you perceive as the need and what you guys can actually provide, is it daunting? Is it sometimes a challenge to think about how can we help all these people?
Oh, absolutely. I work with our program director quite a bit on, looking at our daily attendance and, the number of kids we have registered for our programs. We have almost 1,000 kids throughout the Waterloo community registered for our programs. And we see, in an average day, between 200 and 250 of those kids. But I mean, I've talked to George about this, our program director, and, just people in the community. There's well more than 1,000 kids in the Waterloo community schools. And we're trying every day to find, how can we reach more of these students and get more of them into our programs? And how can we, better serve these kids? Because, part of the issue of why we don't have all of these kids is because we don't have things that fit their needs specifically. So it does feel daunting at times for sure.
Well, I like where we're going with this and I have some more questions for you. We'll take a short break and we'll continue our conversation with Bailey when we come back. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss this.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzz and overshared again?
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
that's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Every second, 127 new devices connect to the internet. You can feel it happening. Our digital world expanding with every breath. We're entering a whole new era of connectivity, and MediaCom will be ready to power it with one of the nation's first 10G platforms. We'll be bringing you more speed, more capacity, more security, and the power to do more than you ever dreamed possible.
Welcome back to Surviving Bad. I'm your host, Peter Komendowski, and we're talking with Bailey Moore from the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Cedar Valley, about their mission and the programs they have designed to help young children and families. Bailey, what does it look like? I mean, morning, afternoon, what are the populations of kids? What is an average day in the life of a kid that goes to the Boys Club?
Absolutely. So it's, depending on the age, things tend to be a little bit different. So our Lime Street site, our Elk Run site, and our Lincoln Elementary site, they all see kids age 6 to 12. So a day in the life of one of those young people is, after school, they get on the bus at their school. They're driven right to our front doors. They come in, and the first thing that they can go do is go grab a snack from the kitchen. I talked about that partnership with the food bank. That's first thing right when they get off the bus. They spent almost 5 hours, without eating anything at school. So getting a snack in and just kind of letting them relax a little bit and kind of, unwind from their school day. Once we get, a majority of our kids in, we get snack and those kinds of things done. We start into a little bit of educational enrichment. So we do our Power Hour program. Kids get homework help. They do a little bit of free reading. Some of our staff do really great jobs. They get them worksheets, different things like that to keep them going. Usually after that, we get dinner served for all those young people, again, through the food bank. And then after dinner is really when we start to get into some of our programs. So a lot of different things could happen depending on, the week, the month, the day of the week itself. We've got a lot of great partnerships. 4-H, Iowa State Extension does a lot of great programs with our kids. Girl Scouts do great programs. And then we've got a lot of internal programs. We've got some music programs that go on. We do a lot of art projects, crafts, things like that. And then we've got a lot of gym games. Our kids love to play basketball, so that is for sure one of the biggest things that goes on. But we also, volleyball, try to get them involved in some different things, try to keep people moving throughout the building. And then for our teens, things look a little bit different because, the teens are a little bit harder group to grab for long amounts of time. They're independent, they got their own things going on. But again, for them, a lot of them walk over right from East High School. They come in, again, it's snack, it's kind of getting unwound a little bit, kind of feeling good after their school day. And they usually get right into program before they go to dinner because, that's when they have a majority of their young people in that building. They can usually get them for a good 45 minutes to an hour. And that can look like a lot of different things. We do some career exploration activities. John Deere usually comes in, does STEM programs. We just try to find different ways to get them really excited about their future. Becoming a young adult. Do you want to do you want to go to college? Do you want to go get a technical degree? Do you want to go right into the workforce? That's something that our teen staff has done a really great job being able to help share with those young people. And like I said, we get to dinner, and then after that, the building is theirs. We've got a lot of different computer games they can play, video games, basketball, volleyball, all sorts of different stuff. And a lot of our kids like to spread out throughout that building. And I mean, really, they make it their own. It's really fantastic.
So it seems really something that almost every child in school could take advantage of.
Absolutely. They definitely can.
So what keeps kids from going? I mean, is there a stigma attached to the boys clubs and girls clubs? I mean, is it like an admission that they're hungry and nobody wants to admit that necessarily? I mean, what kind of things would keep a kid from going to your club?
I mean, there's a few different things that, we always try to figure out what it could be that keeps kids from coming. The biggest one being transportation is always an issue. We have a really great partnership with Waterloo Schools and the bus company. They bus a lot of our kids, right to our front doors. But, some of our high schools, not a lot of kids like to ride the bus when they get into high school. And not only that, if you're a kid that, goes to West High, our teen center's all the way on the east side of town. So then it's a struggle for your parent to get all the way over here to pick their kids up. So we've run into a little bit of transportation being part of the problem. One of our other problems that we've now just recently eliminated was the membership fee itself. For our 6 to 12-year-olds, the annual fee was $30 per child. And, we think to ourselves, hey, $30 isn't a whole lot of money, but for a family of 4 or 5 kids, that adds up very, very quickly. So through a new online system that we have tracking memberships, we've decided to go fee-free for all of our young people getting memberships. So that's going to be a barrier that we've helped eliminate. And then the final one is there's definitely in the past been a stigma that, boys and girls clubs is for kids who are disadvantaged. And as it might be true that, disadvantaged kids do come here, they're not the only kids that are allowed to be here. It's for all young people. Everybody can benefit from being a part of these clubs, and everybody can help, make a great impact on the Boys and Girls Club community, as well as just the Waterloo community as a whole being a part of this organization.
Very cool. Listen, we're going to take another short break. We come back, we're going to continue the conversation and talk a little bit about how these kids are evolving and what the role is going to be in their futures. See you all after the break.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here.
Wait. What?
I can't drive.
Why?
My.
Oh.
Every second, 127 new devices connect to the internet. You can feel it happening, our digital world expanding with every breath. We're entering a whole new era of connectivity, and MediaCom will be ready to power it with one of the nation's first 10G platforms. We'll be bringing you more speed, more capacity, more security, and the power to do more than you ever dreamed possible.
Welcome back to Surviving Bad. We're talking about the Boys and Girls Clubs, how they build community connections, and a volunteer army that helps Iowa kids. But we also have another important role in working with kids that are at-risk populations. At risk for many reasons, whether it's extreme poverty, problems in the home, incarceration of parents, or gang activity and things of that nature. Bailey, tell us a little bit about how the Boys and Girls Clubs handle this idea of at-risk youth.
Absolutely. So, there's a lot of different things that can be done for our at-risk populations. And, the first thing that we always want to make sure that any of our young people know is that no matter if you are considered at risk, high risk, anything, you're always welcome and you'll always be treated just the same as any other kid that walks through those doors. We do have a couple of really awesome programs. One that's still kind of in a conceptual place with the juvenile court services and doing some of their diversion programs, through our teen center and trying to help really keep kids on the straight and narrow and keep them out of trouble and keep things off of their record. And then another great program we have going through the federal government right now is through the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention. It is a one-on-one mentoring program where we match up one of our young people with a staff, and they do a 9-month, once a week program where it's really they just sit down and they meet with each other and they talk about how things are going in school and how are things going at home and what can we do to help be better for you and what can you do to help be better for yourself, and really just trying to build more stronger relationships with our young people and really make sure that they know that you have a voice, you're heard, and you're seen. We really do everything we can to help try to really build those relationships up.
Now, let's just in general, what's the percentage of boys in the program and percentage of girls in the programs?
I tell you what, it is fairly evenly split, but I will say we're about 65% boys to that turns out to be about 35% girls. So we do see a few more gentlemen in the club than we do ladies, which is something that we want to address. We still want to try to make it as even of split as possible because it is the boys and girls clubs. And we do a couple of different targeted programs, based on those things. So we do have a young men's program called Passport to Manhood, which focuses on really a lot of, good character, good citizenship, what it means to be a strong young man in the community and, trying to help, how do you keep your friends in check and how do you make sure that they're also doing the right things? And then we also have a young girls program called Smart Girls, which is focused again on the same things, what it means to be a strong young woman in the community and really be able to advocate for yourself and really help further yourself in life.
So when you deal with young men and young women, how much in the populations you're working with is there a concern for continuing education beyond high school? How well does your population of youth transition from programs that you're into? Because we don't have the greatest rate in Iowa of kids from high school going on to further their education.
It definitely is quite a large mix. We do have a handful of kids that are really, really interested in going to a 4-year college, going to UNI, Iowa State or Iowa, to be doctors and lawyers and, politicians and be, strong leaders in the community. And we've also got a number of people who, school isn't necessarily their thing, trying to find them different apprenticeship programs and just different organizations that can help them find the path that they're looking for. There's a bunch of different, routes these kids can take. And we really try to bring in a lot of those different partners to help explain that to them. So Goodwill has some great programs through Workforce Iowa. Oh boy, I'm going to butcher that one really, really badly. But Workforce Iowa Opportunity Act, I'll have to correct that later. It's a great program that kind of helps young people kind of figure out the path that they're trying to go down. And it helps pay for, any courses, any materials, anything that they would need like that. We also talk to Hawkeye Community College and they come in and talk to our young people about welding programs and different certificates that they can get as opposed to going to a 4-year college. And then we also do have, UNIs and Wartburgs come in and talk about their 4-year programs and all the different resources that are available for them there.
Now, we have learned from different places in the world that a child facing hunger has a really hard time having hope for the future. So we know that feeding children really helps not only build them mentally and physically and give them better academic performance, it gives them hope. And looking at your website, there seems to be a tremendous success rate with kids leaving high school with hope that they're going to have a future, whether it's college or a trade school or just a job. And so that's a big jump from somebody at need or maybe at risk to having hope. How do you see that in play on a daily basis in your work?
Absolutely, we do. We have these, young people that come into our programs and they've been a part of what we do for, some of our young people from 6 all the way through 18, and some of our young people, it might only be for a few years here and there. Um, but it is something amazing. They being a part of this program and being able to see and hear about all the different opportunities that are available to them, it really does kind of fuel that sense of hope of there is something better out there for me. There is a step up, there is a step out in a sense. And then, I mean, like you said, the kids going hungry, it's not something that happens at the Boys and Girls Club, thankfully.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to take another short break. And Bailey, we're going to ask you to come back and share some final comments, insights, inspiration. For all of you watching, stay tuned. You don't want to miss this.
Today, more than ever, you need fast, reliable internet. At MediaCom, we want you to know you can count on us. Our fiber-powered 100% gigabit technology network was built for the future. We have enormous capacity and power and 99.99% network reliability. So even though these are uncertain times, we're prepared. And you can be certain we'll keep your world connected. Every second, 127 new devices connect to the internet. You can feel it happening, our digital world expanding with every breath. We're entering a whole new era of connectivity, and MediaCom will be ready to power it with one of the nation's first 10G platforms. We'll be bringing you more speed, more capacity, more security, and the power to do more than you ever dreamed possible.
Welcome back. Today on Surviving Bad, we've talked about the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Cedar Valley. Let's see what insights and inspiration our guest, Bailey Moore, has to share for us. And starting off, Bailey, you guys give a lot of stuff away for free to kids. How do you get your money?
Yeah, so a lot of our funding comes, right from this community itself. We survive a lot on local donations, you know, in-kind donations, specific items themselves. People donate a lot of, crayons and notebooks and different things like that to be able to help us out. Some ping pong tables, pool tables, all sorts of things. People can donate to really help, get our program spaces filled up with, the things that we need, but also financial support. We have an annual campaign every year that people donate to. We also get a lot of support from local grants through the different foundations in the community, and also through just the local businesses out and around the community. Some of the bigger things that we get federal government wise, Office of Juvenile Justice awards us a grant for that mentoring program. We also have grants through the state's Department of Education 21st Century Community Learning Centers funding. So those have been some awesome ways that we've, get some money through the doors, but also something big that we've got coming up is our special events that we have. So our Harley Party on October the 13th is our next big special event. So we'll have band, food, live auction. It'll be down at the National Cattle Congress. It'll be a great night, Friday the 13th. And then at the end of that night, we raffle off a brand new Harley Davidson motorcycle for somebody to ride away on. So it's a really awesome event. And that's another big piece of how we get funding for this organization.
What about volunteers?
We do get a large number of volunteers. So our program director, George Phillips, and myself actually have a tour of UNI to go talk to a few of their classes this week. So we're really looking forward to being on campus and talking to those young people about, get involved with our organization, see what it's like to be, in the Waterloo community. And a lot of the courses at UNI, require a little bit of community service. So we do get a lot of volunteers from the University of Northern Iowa. We also get a lot of volunteers just from our community. People are really excited and interested in being a part of what we have going on and really helping out the young people that we have here.
Now, coming out of college, you represent what we commonly refer to as sort of a new breed of individuals coming out and saying, I want to work to better the community. I want to work for a nonprofit. I want to work to make the world a better place. How has this experience taught you and changed you in the time you've been there?
It has changed me tremendously. I talked a little bit earlier about, when I first graduating college, I never thought that, not-for-profit organizations would be something I would get involved in, but was really, really thankful, really blessed with the opportunity of, finding a position that fit my degree at the Boys and Girls Clubs. And, once I got here and, heard about the mission and all the great things that Boys and Girls Clubs does for the young people in this community, I thought there's not a better place for me to be, trying to help find ways to bring more resources in for these young people, find more ways to get our young people into the community and just find ways to help strengthen the community that we have and help, further bond, Waterloo, I think has just been fantastic.
That's pretty cool. And like University of Northern Iowa, which not only is where you went to school, but also helps continuing efforts to help the Boys and Girls Clubs. What other major community partners can you point out? Is the Harley Davidson dealership obviously helps with some part of the one event. You have a construction type event coming up in October?
Yes. So for our young people, we do have, there's a construction week in October. So Woodruff Construction, Cardinal Construction, Ryan Companies, they all help out, support those types of things. They do a great job. They bring different, hammer and nail games, a big bounce house. They bring some of the equipment that they use on job sites for our kids to see. We have a lot of really amazing partners in this community, John Deere being one of the large ones. Tyson Meats is another great partner. They help us out when we're in a pinch, if we can't get things in, or food banks having issues, we always have great partners to rely on. All the colleges really do support a lot, and then a lot of our downtown businesses support us in many different ways. They help get things for our fundraising events, help support us and just come in and talk to our young people. So there's everybody in Waterloo loves to contribute to the Boys and Girls Clubs, and we're so thankful for that.
Bailey, thank you so much for coming out and talking to us about the Boys and Girls Club. And thank you all for watching us today. Check out our website, healthyiowa.org, and keep your eye on MediaCom MC22 for our next episode of Surviving Bad, where we explore stories of survival, hope, and inspiration. On MediaCom MC22, your local programming leader.